Hi, I'm Melinda Van Fleet, and welcome to the Good Karma Success Coach podcast. I'm a success coach, speaker, and business consultant, and my husband Ryan and I were laid off at the same time 10 years ago. We moved to the Florida Keys without jobs, not knowing anyone, hardly any money, and we'd never even been here. But we made it, and now we're living our best lives. And all along on our journey, I've said that someday when we get our quote-unquote shit together, we will help others. And since then, we've both done a lot of self-work and built successful businesses. So that day is here, and one of my ways of paying it forward is through this podcast. Each week, my intent is to be relatable and bring you tactical tips, tools, share my learnings and stories that can help inspire or transform you wherever you are in your career or general life and make an impact. I strongly believe that if I can do it, you can do it too. So what's stopping you? Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this week on the Good Karma Success Coach podcast. I am super excited. I have not just one, but two amazing guests this week. And I've got to know Dr. Jyun. He's one of the guests because he is a co-author with my husband Ryan and I for the Brilliant Breakthroughs for the Small Business Owner book series that I've been talking about on and off for the past few months. And when we were having our get to know each other chapter review, he filled me in on his amazing business partner, Dr. Isabel, and their business together, ISAMIZU. And I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds so cool. I need to have you guys on my podcast. Will you please come on? So I am just over the moon excited, and I'm not going to give a big intro because I want them to introduce themselves because they have amazing backgrounds. And I thought it would be more fun to just toss it to them. So welcome to both of you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. And Dr. Isabel, why don't you kick it off sharing about your background and where you're from and where you live now, and give us all the scoop, and then we'll toss it to Dr. Jyun.
Perfect. Thank you. So I want to say the name of the company is ISAMIZU. So ISA is the first three letters of my first name, and Mizu are the last letters of Dr. Shimizu's last name. And then we created the name because it's not only the part of our names, but it also in Japanese, Mizu means water, and Isa is courage. So it's the courage to let the water flow. And we are 70% of our body, around 70% is water. So we want the water in our body to flow and have the courage to transform our lives for that water to flow, not only in the literal material way, but also in the spiritual and then in the quantum way. So I've been doing dentistry. I'm a dentist, an integrated dentist for 22 years. And a couple of my patients were having some medical problems. And I felt that I needed more tools in my toolbox to help them because their problems their medical and physical problems were being reflected in their mouth. And I didn't have the tools to help them. So that's why I decided to start a program with integrated medicine. So it's a PhD in integrated medicine, and that's where I met Dr. Shimizu. And we decided to create the company ISAMIZU together. So I'm originally from Colombia, from South America. I moved to United States almost 21 years ago. And I did my residency actually in Florida, where you are.
Oh, wow.
And yes. And so I have really great memories when I was there. And now I live in Washington State, in Kenmore, near Seattle.
Wow, cool. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, you're welcome.
Can I ask a really funny question that just came to me?
Sure, yes.
Since your background is dentistry and oral hygiene, what do you think of tongue scrapers?
It is super important because not only, so the mouth is a reflection of what's happening in the body, right? So the tongue accumulates a lot of toxins that come out, usually from the stomach. So when you're doing the tongue scraping, you're removing all this extra toxins and bacteria that is in there. And it's something that Ayurveda, the medicine from India, recommends is very important, especially if you do it in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And then oil pulling is something that is very important as well. I don't know if you have heard of that. It's just when you put some oil, and you can use coconut oil,
Yes.
put it in your mouth and switch as long as possible. They recommend it for over 10 minutes. I can never get that long, but as much as possible, switch it in your mouth and then spit. You can see how the oil is usually clear. It transforms into a whitish, milky looking material. And
Uh-huh.
then it's all these toxins, all this bacteria that is coming out of your mouth. So
Wow.
it's very important.
Wow. I'll have to try that. I did add tongue scraping several months ago because I had someone else on my podcast back in March and she does it. So then I started. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've been healthy
Yes.
ever since. So there you go.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Very good. Good.
Awesome. Dr. Jyun, we'll toss it to you.
Great, thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Jyun. And so my background is starting from the traditional Chinese medicine. Oh, before that, I'm from Japan. Came here to US over 30 years ago, pursuing traditional Chinese medicine. That's my part of the family background, as well as a folk remedy that I have practiced in natural medicine. And it was just so natural way to move towards a direction because I was so passionate about helping people. And over the last 25 years, what I had discovered was that traditional Chinese medicine was very potent, very strong, incredible medicine itself. However, we have seen the patients that are applying traditional Chinese medicine doesn't get a result. So there's my mind goes is that what can we do? What can we add it to these patients and clients that help them to transform, to assist their healing journey? So I started learning about applied kinesiology, homeopathic medicine, and also molecular remedies. So my journey went through in the last 25 years profoundly, and finally landed to the ultimate um, university called Quantum University, where I met Dr. Isabel. And this was the all the compiled all the information and the wisdom that I learned the last 25 years that really integrate with the combined with the consciousness that really what we human beings are for. So we had to really kind of approach from the level of understanding as a creators of a higher consciousness and the mental and the emotional, vital, and the physical, and all aspects are so important to approach. So this is where our ISAMIZU, our company, the fundamental of the philosophy is that how can we integrate, how can we empower people for the healing journeys?
Yes, and it's so important. I think more and more people, which is why I wanted you guys to come on the podcast, is more and more people are starting to awaken to all of this, but they just don't necessarily know the tools or know any of the facts or history or science, and you guys have really combined all of those, methodologies and thought processes to come up with some of your own, actions. I think you call them conscious actions, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, great. And and I haven't had any podcasts like this. So that's why I was like, oh, this would be great. We'll jump right in. Do you want to tell us any more information about the company, like how you guys work with people before taking us through the 5 conscious actions?
Sure, yeah. So our goal is to empower people in a proactive way, and we combine the ancient wisdom of medicine, modern science, and technology. We want to guide them to let that best version of themselves, that we all have a quantum nature. We all have this best version that is sometimes hidden because experiences in life gets in the way, and we create our own limitations. So we want to show people that there is a possible way, there is an easy and practical way to let that best version of themselves flow naturally. So we want them to improve in their personal life, maximize their potential, and then just have an amazing health and well-being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we guide them not only having into consideration the physical body, but also the psychological, emotional, and because we are energy. If we look at the quantum physics, and technology is just helping us so much, because as you mentioned, we are waking up. People are getting more aware of what's going on, and quantum physics is helping bridge that gap between the spirituality and science. So now we need to be more aware of our bodies and our emotions, because our body is just wise, and we have all the tools that we need to do and be whatever we want to be.
No, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
What would you say are some of the actions? I think you guys, your methodology is 5 ISAMIZU Conscious Actions, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
That you can walk us through?
Yes. So this 5 ISAMIZU Conscious Action is that this is a fundamental the way that you can improve yourself more physically, mentally, and combined with emotionally. So we have this daily routine that we developed, and then we have also called transformational morning routine, the power of 1 hour that we do as a ritual in the morning. This we can talk about that later, maybe next podcast, but today is the 5 ISAMIZU Conscious Action. So consciously what we do, that we have to pay attention. So most people don't really pay attention to how you breathe, how you inhale and exhale daily basis. So there's a study has done that most people, healthy people they inhale about average 4 seconds and exhale 6 seconds. So what does that mean? That longer the exhalation that stimulates the parasympathetic vagus nerve, which is the nervous system that help you restore your balance and the mental state, going back to homeostasis and coherence between the heart and mind. So we encourage people to do a daily 15 minutes conscious breathing, 4 second inhale, 6 second exhale. And the second was conscious hydration. Dr. Isabel said earlier that our body made out of water about 65-70%. So the water that you are influencing by doing hydration in a daily basis. So there's a certain body requirement, how much water the body needs at the metabolically. So we suggest between the 1/4 to 0.5% of a body weight in ounces. So that depends on your body type, which we're going to talk about later. Body type dictates how much water the individual requires. So it's not about cutting very straight to say how much water everybody should drink, because we are all different, right?
Yeah, wow.
Yes. So third is that conscious nutrition. So this is where it gets very interesting and then very complex, but also at the same time very simple when you think about it. So we are all different. Our DNA is different. Our expressions are different. So nobody can disagree with that. Correct, Marina?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah. So we have this called, blood type A, B, O, and AB. So study shows that according to the blood type, our body process the nutrition, the protein, in a different way. So really wanted to dial into who are you, which blood type it is. And also your DNA expression shows that what kind of enzyme is available for your body system, because you're from mostly Northern Europe, Scandinavian, as their ancestry. What they have been eating in the last 6-7 generations are different than people from Asia or people from South Africa, right?
Right.
So we have to really focus on what your ancestry has been eating. That is for into your core, your DNA. Then last one is body type by the Ayurvedic medicine, Indian medicine. There's 3 different types of body types: Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So this is where also metabolically, you are very skinny and you're tall, versus some people are very muscular, nice, strong frame, and then other person are very, a little heavy onset, very, relaxed, and then don't like to move. So there's 3 different unique metabolic body types that are available by the Ayurvedic medicine. So combination of that can create your nature that really designed for your specific needs. So then there are 2 other things: the conscious movement, also according to the body type. Then there are certain exercises that are very suitable for your body system. So you can really take a look at that. We have this in the website, more detail about what this exercise movement that works for your system. And there's a test available at the website that are free.
Okay.
And the last one is the conscious relaxation. And so restoration, relaxation is the most critical for a body, physical body, and also mentally to prepare for the next day to expand your creation. So we have a many recommendation. What's the best things you can do? So it's just roughly that, before 2 hours before you go to bed, you don't want to use any electrical devices that stimulate your serotonin, because you want to produce the melatonin. So 2 hours before the bed, between 9 and 10, you don't want to use any electrical devices. And then sleep good 7.5 hours, so the 9 hours. There's the 90 minutes of this circadian rhythms available to our body. So you want to hit the right sweet spot for you to be really fully rested. So, and then there's a power nap in the afternoon. This is where the cortisol goes down. So you want to make sure that you create a nice reset for your body. So there's many additional recommendations available. So those are the 5 conscious actions that can help you to transform your body.
Yeah. How often do you find that people really don't do any of them?
That's a very, very critical question.
Yes, it's very sad because it's a very high percentage.
Yeah.
So some people can do some of them, but not all of them. And then the other thing is that a lot of people nowadays with this new diet, there is a new diet coming out, seems like every day, and they don't understand that we're all different. So something that is going to work for one person is not going to work for the other one, even though if they're doing the same diet, they're following the instructions very strictly, they won't have the same results because their foundation, their body type is different, and they respond different to the different diets. So we need to be more like, and listen to the body. If you're not feeling okay, there is something that is not working good for you. So just find a different way to lose weight, to do every single activity. It's not, you have to be very strict because we're very different. So we have to follow those different body types and the instructions and the recommendations for each of them.
Yeah, no, and another thing that's fascinating, because I definitely agree on the weight loss, because I've recently lost a lot of weight, and other people I see like in the Facebook group might be struggling, and then I've actually coached some people on this too, that, you know what, everyone's different. Yeah, so just go with it. And if you're super hungry, as long as it's something that's technically, like, let's say on the plan, good for you, for example, it could be fish and salad, eat it. Like, if you're hungry, like, you have to, your body is asking you to do. So I do think there's a lot to be said for that. But you know what else is funny? Oh, go on, sorry.
Sorry, no, what I was going to say about the salads, for example, people for like Pitta type are very fiery, so very energetic, so their metabolism is really high. But then if they eat too many raw salads, they get bloated and they just don't feel, their digestive system doesn't feel very, very good. But a Vata person or body type, if they eat raw salads, it will be perfect. So then the Pitta, instead of having the raw salad, it will be better if they eat like steamed vegetables. So something that is cooked, that they don't have to do, as their digestive system doesn't have to do as much work that when it's raw versus when it's steamed or cooked.
And how do you know what body type you are? That's very interesting.
So then you can go on our website, ISAMIZU.com. There is a test that you can take, and it will give you the dosha or the body type. That's how it's called in Ayurveda. So the dosha type. So you will see, and then we have some instructions or recommendations for things that you can eat and that are better for you. And then if you can expand, because what Dr. Jyun was saying is that we not only consider the body type, the dosha, but also the blood type. So there is certain things that can affect your diet, your exercise. So some exercises are good for some pitta type, but not for vata, and vice versa, or for kapha. So exercise, lifestyle, even the profession. Like for example, a vata personality, they're very agile and they like to be moving a lot. So for them, it's not easy to be sitting down on a desk all day. So they have to do things more like they go outside in nature, or they just move more. For a pitta type, it is okay for them because they can focus and they can concentrate, and it's okay for them to be sitting on a desk, and they are productive that way. So it is very interesting to know what body type you are and what will be the best for you, so you can have success and you'll be happy.
Yeah. Wow. I'm definitely going to be taking this your assessments because I'm personally fascinated. Now, my husband, he's a napper. He has to have a nap. So if he doesn't have a charter, he has to have a nap. Like he's napping right now. I can't stand to nap because then I just think it's the end of the day and I don't want to get back up. So is there a difference there as well? Like if you know, in relation to
Right.
how?
Yes.
So let's talk about this. Going back to this sleep patterns or the relaxation patterns, there's one of the specific doctors, psychologists, have done the study that there's 4 different types of the circadian rhythm. So there's a 10% less people, they call the lion. Those people, they get up 5 in the morning, their energy is great from the get-go, and then their peaks up 7, 8 in the morning, they are fully charged up. But the majority of people called the bear, those people get up at 7 o'clock. So then by the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, their energy starts increasing. So then they'll need to have a certain level of the dips happens, in the hormonal level in the afternoon. So those people require some of the power nap. But then there's 2 other things called dolphin people. This is where energy gets increased in the afternoon specifically. Then there's a very few percentage people, very artistic people are, it's called the wolf. They get energy charged up at night. So those are the night owl people. Like they stay up 2, 3, 4 in the morning, fully awake. Their creativity increase. Those are the people called the wolf. So depends on those 4 different types that my requirements might be a little different. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely the first one. And Ryan's interesting. Like he can get up early, but then he has to take his nap. But he's not ready to go supercharged like me. Like he needs to like when we started dating and first got together, he was like, "You need to leave me alone for the first hour." so I still like have to be careful, and I have to say, "Okay, are you ready to talk yet?" And he's like, "No." So
at least he's communicating. He's clear.
Yes. It's very good. Yes. But it's funny. So I'm like, okay, because I can like wake up and like jump right into whatever. So it is different. But yeah, and then there's people that I think, I was talking to someone that, she always feels like she gets beat up because she's a night owl, but that's when she's most productive. And I've always felt that that's okay. I don't think that everyone should be expected to be a morning person. If you're a night person, then that's your body and how you operate. So that's really cool. I didn't know those 4 types. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really, really cool. Any tips that you guys would share with the audience? It could be, over any of these conscious actions, just so people can start to put some into practice.
Definitely. Well, one of the first thing that I would recommend everybody is just invest in you first. You are the most important person, and it's just like when you're in an airplane. Who do you put the oxygen mask first? Do you put it to somebody next to you, to your kid, or do you put it on yourself first? So if you're okay, then everything around you is going to be okay. So be present in every moment. Invest in you first. Trust your intuition. Listen to your body. And just pay attention and be aware of your emotions, because your emotions are telling you a whole story. And if we have negative emotions for longer periods of time, that creates a stagnant energy, and down the road is going to create symptoms and a disease. So just be aware of the emotions, listen to your body, invest in you, and trust your intuition.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And so many people don't. That's exactly sometimes how I feel. What's going on out there? People just
Yes.
they just keep going forward on an autopilot, and they're not taking a moment to realize how they're feeling and stopping.
Yes.
So
Yes, and unfortunately, people realize that they're doing something wrong when they start having symptoms, and to be able to get to the symptoms, a lot of things have happened before that.
mm-hmm.
It's just like the tip of the iceberg. So the symptoms and the disease is just the tip, but then there's a lot of things going on below that cause the symptom or the disease.
Yeah, that's so true. That could be its whole podcast in itself, because I love reading stories of people that end up basically like self-healing themselves when they realize where the disease came from, whether it's cancer or arthritis or something, that they start to drill down and realize that in a way they created it, so they can end up fixing it. It's kind of fascinating.
That's true. Yes, we're creating a course right now. It's emotion and disease awareness, because according to traditional Chinese medicine, a lot of the emotions are linked to different organs and different parts of our body. So if there is this stagnant energy because of the emotion,